understand. What do you think, Javiera? We
I
have
was thinking the same.
uh-huh, uh-huh. It's Patricio, Cristobal, Claudia, and I believe that this is totally an advantage, and there are a lot of benefits, both for the students who are participating in a small class as for the teacher. What about that? You may agree or disagree. This is a conversation. I don't have the truth. I don't own it.
I agree. Hi, teacher.
Hello. So let's get going for this last class before the holiday break. I have to be honest, I didn't remember that it was a whole week. I thought it was going to be like, you know, only the last 2 or 3 days of the week. So that's an interesting thing. Hello, Maria Fernanda.
Hello,
Claudia,
teacher.
are you there? So the idea for this lesson is that because we're reviewing the syllable and its structure, its components, and the idea is not that we learn by heart the rules for syllabification because they are really complex. Um, syllabification means how you divide the syllables in English. It may sound crazy, but um, it's very easy for us in Spanish because syllables have structure, a specific structure. And when we divide, for example, the word te queda, we clap, cha, que, ta. And if you see the structure in terms of sounds, right? Cha, ch, that affricate sound, right? And then a vowel sound. So we have a consonant vowel sound, and the second syllable, ke, right? K and e. Again, a consonant and a syllable. And in the last syllable, ta, t and a follow the same structure. So a consonant vowel sound, consonant vowel sound, consonant vowel sound. And that's it. And if you think about any other, in general, I think it might be very easy. Well, we are native speakers of Spanish, but it would be kind of easy to guess how you can divide a syllable because most of them have the same structure. Now, of course, we have others that have like not consonant vowel sound, but vowel sound consonant. I'm thinking about árbol, for example. How do you separate árbol in terms of the syllable division in Spanish? Árbol. What do you think? We can clap. Árbol. Do you agree with that? That there are two syllables in the word árbol?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Now, the first one, in terms of its structure, ar is not consonant vowel sound, but a vowel sound, consonant sound, right? Ar. And then the second syllable has a structure of consonant, vowel, consonant, right? So we're going to find in English this the same structure for syllables. Some of them will have a VC or CV, but sometimes there's going to be a cluster of consonant sounds, a group of consonant sounds that go at the beginning of the syllable. I think we may have used before the example strike. The word strike, if you think, has one nucleus, right? I strike, and then before the nucleus, we're going to see that there are several consonants. So English doesn't exactly functions just like in English. So we need to be very aware of that. So we're not going to deal specifically with the rules of syllabification, but we need to understand that syllables are divided sometimes in a different way. and also that each one of those syllables receive a different amount of energy, amount of airflow. We make a different muscular effort when we produce these syllables, because one of them usually carries the word stress. Okay, one of them is louder, one of them is longer, or sometimes one of them carries a higher pitch, and that is going to be called the stressed syllable. Okay, that's a concept that I would like you to keep in mind. Now, Patricio, do you remember one of the things that we talked about last session? At least one of the things, so we can, sort of connect the previous class with this one, to link this.
Maybe the concepts of coda, nucleus, and onset. Hello?
Sorry. So, so this is to complement the information. So thank you, by the way. So a syllable is a unit of sound, right? Which has an onset and a rhyme, right? Now the rhyme is composed by the nucleus and the coda. And in the onset, we will always find consonant sounds. And in the coda, we will always find consonant sounds, because a syllable has only one vowel sound. And that's called the nucleus, or the peak, or of the syllable. That was what we talked about last session, right? So basically, a syllable can be represented like this illustration is showing us. There is a sort of a symbol that looks like this, which is called sigma. And this symbol called sigma, right? It represents the syllable. The symbol is saying, okay, this is a syllable. Okay, and in the syllable, for example, we have the word cat, right? In the word cat, we can identify the nucleus or peak, because it's the vowel sound. And then the sounds before the nucleus, in this case, k, will be called the onset, and the sounds that come after the nucleus will be the coda, in this case, t. And in the example below, sing has, again, as we know, the vowel sound as the nucleus, the s sound as the onset, and the coda, which we know is only one symbol, sing. I mean, we are seeing two letters, right? But the symbol representing the final sound of sing is only, is this one, because it's only one sound. We don't say sing, g, right? We say sing. Okay, so this is how syllables are represented visually using this structure. And we can represent all the single vowels in longer words like this, because these are one syllable words. But let's see if you face a word like paralysis, or a word like hierarchy. Those are longer words, right? Then, therefore, these sort of trees to represent the structure of a syllable will be more complex. So if Claudia, you could read the first definition, and then Maria Fernanda, if you could read the second one. Then we may, agree or disagree with it. We can talk about this after Javiera reads the first paragraph, and Maria Fernanda the second one, please. Are you okay with that?
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Do you hear me? Yeah. A syllable is a phonological unit of sonority. Sonority can be described by degree of airflow, obstruction, and voicing that occurs during phonation. The structure of syllables represents sonority peaks and nocturnal edge and is made up of three elements: the onset, the nucleus, and the coda.
And the second paragraph?
A syllable can have as many as three parts: onset, nucleus, and coda. The onset and the coda are consonants or consonant clusters that appear at the beginning and the end of the syllable respectively. I don't know how to say it.
Perfect, thanks so much. These paragraphs contain a very complex technical words, so it doesn't matter if you don't know the pronunciation, because that's this class 4, okay? So a syllable in the first paragraph, right? The paragraph read by Claudia, a syllable, and it's represented by this symbol called sigma, is a phonological unit of sonority. So it's a unit that it's basically one single indivisible sound, okay? And sonority can be described by the degree of airflow obstruction and voicing that occurs during phonation. Phonation is the process when we actually say something and someone hears it and it sounds. Phonation is when we use the lungs, the airflow, the vocal tract, and then we hear something. That's the process of articulating a sound. Okay, and sonority. Not every single sound has the same degree of sonority. Some sounds are louder. Some sounds are less audible. For example, the degree of airflow obstruction. Let me give you an example to hopefully clarify this. All vowel sounds are voiced. And when we produce vowel sounds, there's no obstruction, there's no friction. We just produce them, the airflow goes out freely. Ah, ah, just like that. Oh, okay. Now, of course, there are differences in between or among vowel sounds, right? Because when we say ah and when we say e, the shape of the mouth is different. Therefore, it's bigger. The jaws, right? The jaws are more separated when we say ah than when we say e. So, in terms of sonority, degree of sonority, ah is more sonorous, it's louder, right, than E. But in general, vowel sounds are loud sounds as compared with consonant sounds. Because when we produced consonant sounds, we may stop the sounds as when we say p or d or t or d. When we may cause some friction as when we say s or z, right, or sh. We may produce a partial block and then a gradual release, and when we produce an affricate sound like ch or j, j. So if you compare a vowel sound and, for example, a fricative s, do you agree that the first one is louder than the second one? It's louder than sh. I mean, if you say it aloud, probably someone is going to hear more the vowel sound than the consonant sound. right? So there are different degrees in the terms of the airflow obstruction and voicing. Sonority, or how loud unit sound is going to be different depending on the sound that we are articulating during the phonation process. Okay, and the structure of a syllable has different sonority peaks because of, for example, the word strike, right? When we consider a strike, right? We have this consonant cluster at the beginning, which is going to be considered the onset. Then we have this diphthong, which is going to be considered the nucleus, right? And we will have this final consonant sound, which is going to be considered the coda, right? And there are some theories in connection to how a syllable is composed, but in general, one of the theories implies that the nucleus is the most sonorant sound of the syllable. Is the one that contains more airflow, right? The one that's used in which more energy is used. And then the syllables that go from right to left are go in a degree that it's decreasing. So the consonant sound in this case, which is closer to the nucleus, is more sonorant than t, and t is more sonorant than s. So the least sonorous sound would be the one that's further away from the nucleus. In this case, s would be the less sonorant. Okay, so that's sort of the composition of a syllable in terms of sonority. That the closer the sound is to the nucleus is more sonorant, and if the sound is farther away from the nucleus is less sonorant. Okay, we're going to revisit this concept later when we see some theories about how to divide the syllable and how to understand its structure. But this is in general an overview. And the structure, optional ages. Optional ages refers to the structure, because when we say cat, we will see that we have a nucleus, we have an onset and a coda. But when we say, for example, we only have a nucleus and a coda, and we have zero onset, no onset, right? And the same thing when we say, for example, no. We have an onset, we have a nucleus, but zero coda, no coda. So that's why they are optional. Okay, but anyway, we have to consider that the elements that compose a syllable are the ones you mentioned: onset, nucleus, or coda. By the way, the pronunciation of this last section is a schwa, nucleus. Okay, so you have to relax your jaws, right, and open just a little bit your mouth to produce the final sound of nucleus. Okay, and the second definition that Maria Fernanda read, it's basically the same components, right? And it only adds that we may be talking about consonants or consonant clusters, right? A syllable can have as many as 3 parts: onset, nucleus, and coda. So far, it's basically the same that's mentioned before. The onset and the coda are consonants or consonant clusters. That is a group of consonants, right, that appear at the beginning, at the end of the syllable, respectively. At the beginning and at the end, it should be, of the syllable, respectively. So that's in terms of what a syllable is, how a syllable is composed. I think we cover this section, the composition of a syllable, right? We talked about, sorry, again, it's missing here. Nucleus, onset, and coda. That's a composition of syllable. And also we talked about the structure CVC, consonant, vowel sound, consonant sound, CVC again, VC, CCC, VC, VC, and CV. Remember that here we have a consonant cluster, which is this one, right? And then the nucleus, the long O, and then the consonant sound, which is D. Now there's a missing dot here. I think we talked about this before. Okay, so I would like to go to the to a sort of an exercise. If you're okay with this. Now, how many of you are present here? So I'm going to include myself. We are 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 7 because Antonia is not here and Amaya is not here. So I'm going to share with you a Word file. Don't be afraid because you're going to see a lot of words. Do not need to be afraid because you will have to choose. Okay. Now, this exercise has to do with counting syllables. We're going to count syllables. We're going to say this word has 3 syllables, 4 syllables, 3 syllables, or we can say this is a 3-syllable word. This is a 4-syllable word. Okay, for example, the example number 1, accessible is a 4-syllable word, or accessible has 4 syllables. 4 syllables. Okay, the stressed syllable, or the most prominent syllable, or the most salient syllable, because prominent and salient means that they are louder, or they are longer, right? Or they have a higher pitch. That's why they're going to carry the primary stress. The second syllable is the stressed syllable. Okay, and we can show that by using a stroke. It's vertical. Okay, I cannot do the vertical stroke here. I don't know why, but it's a very small stroke, which is vertical, right? Not slanted, but vertical. Okay, so count the syllables and then identify the primary stress, or which is the most prominent or salient syllable. Javiera, how many words do you think students should choose? I don't want to give them all of them and divide 99 words. Yes, 99 words into the number of students. What do you think, Javiera?
I think Patricio was here last class, if I'm not mistaken, and Sebastian, and they did a lot of them
yes.
by themselves. So maybe we can start by the ones they didn't do.
Excellent. Patricio, yes, yeah. Go on, Javiera. Go on, please.
Because in that case, we will have less than a half, I think, or maybe a half of them. So that would be better not to repeat the same questions, the same numbers, because they are already done in the previous recording, if I'm not mistaken.
You're totally right, So let's get some feedback from Patricio and Sebastian. Patricio and Sebastian, which were the words you worked with, so we can leave them out?
They were from 1 to 10. Then competitive, which number is
26?
Okay, competitive until conclusion, courageous. I think that emphasize. I think that they are not in the same order that we We did.
Oh, okay. Okay, but anyway, we're going to leave them out. Patricio?
They were 40 in total.
Okay. And Sebastian, what do you remember from this previous exercise? So we can leave them out, leave the words out that you work with.
I think we have to see the image from the last class
Okay.
to be sure. Yeah.
Historical. I think that is the next. Yeah, from historical until.
Meaning?
Yeah.
Meaningless?
Yeah. Until
Okay.
meaning. Meaningless? No. Just meaning.
All
And
right.
from potential, I think.
Till regard.
Yes.
Perfect. So so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So probably we have 60 words here, more or less, right? More or less. What's the problem, Claudia, with your computer? If you could answer in the chat box, please. So probably we have like 30, maybe 60 words, maybe around, right? Not an exact number. So how can we divide 60 among all of them? I'm sorry, among all of us. What about taking 6? Is 6 words okay?
Yes.
6. Okay, so the audio. Okay, sorry about that. Now, you can see the instructions I'm going to give in the chat box, Claudia. All right, I'm going to type instructions in the chat box. All right. So, who would like to choose the first 6 words?
I would like to choose
Sure, go ahead.
from 61 to 66.
From 61 to 66. Okay. So there you are. Those are for you. Thank you. Who would like to choose now? I'm typing instructions for Claudia.
Me from 37.
Okay, 37.
9 from until 42. There are 6, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
All righty. Now let's ask Amaya. Amaya, what's your choice? Which words would you like to choose to work with? The preposition is driving me crazy today. Amaya?
Yeah. I'm sorry, teacher. I recently joined the class, so I am a little lost. But how many words I can choose?
You have to choose 6 words, Amaya. 6 of them. The same thing for Claudia, Maria Fernanda. Patricio and Sebastian are ready, so I'm waiting for. No, Cristobal, I think was the one who chose. Right, so I didn't write it.
So, furnace, geography, happiness, happy, genius, and oh, I think
Okay, from 46. Is that right? Okay, 3, 4, 5, and then you're missing 1.
furnace.
Okay, and furnish. Perfect. Okay. So Claudia from 17. Okay, 17 up to 22. Okay, Claudia, that's your choice.
I can take the last 6.
Sorry, you can take Sebastian the last 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. From sociology downwards. Okay. Who's missing? Who's
Me,
Maria Fernanda? Go on.
from 11 to 16.
Perfect. Okay, there you are. And anyone missing? No? Okay. Javiera, which one are you going to choose? Because I'm going to choose my 6, but I want you to choose first, and then I'm going to choose myself.
From 86.
Okay, from 8 to 6. So what one, two. Yeah, go on.
And scientific and social as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. And I'm going to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So remember, guys, the idea is that you count the syllables. So you say this word has 4, 3, 7 syllables, and then you need to identify which is the one that carries the primary stress. Okay, the first syllable is the most prominent, or the second syllable is the most salient one. Okay, that is the idea, and it would be good. Can all of you share? Are you all using a computer, or you're using a cell phone to connect to the class?
I'm using a computer teacher.
Okay, so maybe you can share whenever you are talking about the words you are analyzing. Maybe you can share this, so you can include the phonetic transcription. If you go to Cambridge Online Dictionary, you can get the transcription there, and then also the syllable division. I think that's going to be helpful for you to explain the syllable division. Okay, something like this. So in the word 70, I have the transcription here, and I have the syllable division with this dot. In case you want to use this Word file, I sent it through the chat box, all right? How are you doing, guys? Are you ready? Do you need more minutes to finish this activity?
Yeah, please.
One more minute.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, we need to use the UK or the US version for the transcription.
Either.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I'm ready.
Alrighty. What about the rest of you guys? Do you think you're ready or about to finish? Almost finishing.
Ready.
So this exercise about counting syllables and identifying the primary stress, because all of the words have a primary stress. If we consider 2-syllable words, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all. I mean, in each one, you will always find a primary stress, and in some you will find a secondary stress. But those are very long words. The first one I got here is organize, which is transcribed as this, organize, and this has 3 syllables. And the primary stress is in the first syllable. The first syllable is the most prominent of the three that you can see in this word. The next word is pedagogy. Pedagogy can be divided in different ways. If you take a look at the Cambridge Online Dictionary, you can see the syllable division in two different ways. Interesting and very strange, but that's the way it is. Pedagogy has 4 syllables, and the first one is the most prominent one, as you can see here in this stroke, which is showing that ped is the most prominent syllable of the 4. The next one is pedagogical. Pedagogical. As you can see, there is a shift of the stress from the first syllable in pedagogy to the third syllable, or syllable number 3, pedagogical. As a reminder, how do we know the number of syllables? Because we count the number of vowel sounds. Pedagogy has 1, 2, 3, 4 vowel sounds, therefore 4 syllables. The next word is philosophy. Philosophy has 4 syllables, and the stressed syllable is the second one. Philosophy. Philosophy. Word 74 is photography, which has 4 syllables, and the second one is the most salient one. And my last word was positive. Positive has 3 syllables, and the first one is the most prominent or the stressed syllable in this word. Okay, so who's next? Cristobal?
Okay.
Okay.
I will try to share the screen. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So the first word is meaningless. It got 3 syllables, and the prominent is in the first one. Meaningless. The second one is methodology. It got 5 syllables, and the stress is in dull. Methodology. The third one is militia. It got 3 syllables, and the prominent is in the second one. Militia. The fourth one is minimized, and the prominent is in the first one. It got 3 syllables. The same happened here in minimum. It got 3 syllables, and the prominent is in the first one. Minimum. And the last one is nostalgia, and it got 3 syllables, and the prominent is in the second one. Style. Whoop.
Excellent. Very, very well done. Very well done. Just a very, very small comment, Cristobal. When you say and the prominent, you can say in the prominent syllable. And let me type this in the chat so I can clarify myself. And the prominent syllable is the second one, the third one, and the prominence is in the, because prominent is an adjective, so, and the prominent something, and the prominent syllable in this case, right? And the prominent syllable is the second one or the third one. Or you can say, and the prominence, yes, prominence is the noun. So you can say, and the prominence is in the, both, you have to choose.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. No, thank you. All right. We're waiting for another volunteer. Maybe Patricio? I don't know. Just guessing.
Okay, but I cannot share my screen, so I'm going to send the transcriptions by chat. That's okay.
Yes. Yeah, sure. It's a very good decision.
Okay, so they are. I don't know if you can see.
At least on my part, I haven't received the message yet.
Let me send it again.
Which are your words, Patricio?
From 37.
Let's see if I. It might be just myself that it's not receiving the updated messages. Maybe you have already. Have you received Patricia's message in the chat?
No, I haven't too.
Okay.
I haven't either. The problem is that I send it through my computer and not through my cell phone. But let me do a quick move.
Is this okay, Patricio? Are you seeing the Word file?
Yeah, I can see.
The message of Patricio was in the equipo, not in the call. So I put it in the chat now.
Perfect.
Oh,
I'm going to
thank
take it. Wonderful. So let me get rid of this. Okay.
Okay, so the first word will be essential. And as we can see, this word has 3 sound syllables. So it has 3 syllables. And the stress is in the second one, essential. Event has only 2 syllables, and the prominent sound is in the second one. The third will be eventually. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllables, and the prominence is in the second one. Expression, expression has 3 syllables, and the stress is placed in the second one. Finance, it has 2 syllables, and the prominent sound, the prominence is in the first one. And the last, financial, it has 3 syllables, and the stress is placed on the second syllable.
Excellent. Very well done. You can say and the prominent sound or and the prominent syllable. That's totally fine.
Okay.
All right then. Do we have time for more? I think what we could do now, if you're okay, we can take a break, a short break, a 10-minute break, and then we can finish with this exercise, which is not really very complex, if you can see. It takes a moment, but we can do it, all right? So is it okay if we take a 10-minute break?
Yeah.
All right? All right? Then we come back to finish reviewing this exercise. So enjoy your 10-minute break. I'll see you around.